Imagine living in a world surrounded by water where every breath and every move depends on it. Now picture this, you're a fish, swimming endlessly through rivers or oceans, yet a strange question arises. Do you ever feel thirsty? For humans, thirst is an unmistakable signal from the body, a cry for hydration. But what about creatures that live their entire lives submerged in liquid? Do fish sip, drink, or crave water the way we do? Or is their relationship with hydration completely alien to ours? This simple question unlocks one of the most fascinating secrets of aquatic life. To understand whether fish get thirsty, we first need to redefine what thirst actually means. In humans and land animals, thirst is a sensation created when our bodies need more water. Sensors in our brain detect imbalances in salt and hydration levels, sending us the unmistakable urge to drink. But fish exist in a very different environment where water is always around them. Instead of thirst in the way we feel it, their bodies are constantly balancing salt and water through processes we can barely imagine. Here's the surprising twist. Some fish do drink water, but others don't. Saltwater fish, like tuna or clownfish, actually swallow seawater regularly. Their bodies constantly lose water to the salty ocean through osmosis, so they must drink to replace it. Freshwater fish, on the other hand, live in a watery world where the opposite problem exists. Their bodies absorb too much water naturally, so they don't need to drink at all. Instead, they're forced to expel excess water constantly to survive. Osmosis is the silent force behind this mystery. It's the movement of water across membranes, driven by differences in salt concentration. In the salty ocean, water moves out of a fish's body, dehydrating it slowly. That's why saltwater fish must gulp water to stay alive. Freshwater, the reverse happens. Water floods into their bodies. This constant push and pull of water molecules is what determines whether fish ever need to drink. Saltwater fish face a brutal challenge. Imagine being surrounded by an ocean, yet always at risk of drying out. They gulp down seawater, but drinking salt water creates another problem: too much salt. To solve this, they use special cells in their gills to pump excess salt back into the ocean. Their kidneys also work overtime, producing small amounts of concentrated urine to conserve water. It's a delicate balancing act, ensuring they don't shrivel up in their salty world. Freshwater fish live with the opposite nightmare. Water is constantly rushing into their bodies because their internal salt concentration is higher than the water around them. If they drank on top of this, they would explode with excess fluid. So instead, they almost never drink. Their kidneys excrete large amounts of very diluted urine, flushing out the extra water. This constant flow keeps their bodies in balance, but it means they're always battling the threat of overhydration. This difference between saltwater and freshwater fish is one of nature's clever adaptations. Each group evolves specialized strategies to survive in environments that seem impossible for the other. That's why most fish cannot survive if moved from ocean to river, or vice versa. Their osmoregulation systems are finely tuned, and a sudden change in salinity overwhelms them. There are exceptions, though, and they tell an even more fascinating story. Meet the Euryhalan fish species like salmon and eels that can live in both fresh and salt water. Salmon hatch in rivers, migrate to the ocean, then return upstream to spawn. Each stage of their journey requires their bodies to switch drinking strategies. In rivers, they stop drinking and expel excess water. In the ocean, they gulp seawater and filter out the salt. This incredible flexibility shows just how advanced fish biology truly is. But here's where the tension spikes. If fish Dante feel thirst like we do, how do they know when to drink? The answer lies in their physiology. Fish don't consciously crave water. Instead, their bodies automatically adjust based on salt levels in their blood. Specialized cells detect imbalances, and gills or kidneys respond instantly. It's an unconscious survival mechanism, eliminating the need for the brain to send thirst signals like ours does. This lack of thirst sensation raises another question: do fish ever want to drink? Scientists believe they don't experience thirst as a conscious feeling. Instead, their drinking or water-expelling behaviors are purely instinctive. It's biology in autopilot mode. Unlike us, they don't pause mid-swim thinking, "I need a drink." Their bodies simply take care of hydration without involving thought or choice. But nature always has exceptions. Some amphibious fish, like lungfish or mudskippers, spend time both in water and on land. When out of water, they rely on mucus layers and specialized adaptations to prevent dehydration. In these rare cases, scientists suggest they might experience a primitive form of thirst, urging them to return to water. It's not thirst in the human sense, but it's the closest a fish might come to feeling something similar. Another fascinating case is sharks. Like most fish, sharks don't constantly drink seawater. Instead, they store high levels of urea in their blood, making their bodies as salty as the ocean itself. This clever trick prevents water loss, keeping them hydrated without gulping down seawater. Sharks prove that even within the category of fish, hydration strategies are incredibly diverse and specialized. The tension builds again when we look at extreme environments. Some fish live in hypersaline lakes, where the water is even saltier than the ocean. Others survive in near-pure freshwater pools formed by rain. In both cases, survival depends on extreme adaptations in kidneys and gills. Their ability to handle water balance in these conditions is so specialized that moving them elsewhere often results in death. This shows how fragile and finely tuned aquatic life really is. So, do fish get thirsty? The short answer is no, not in the way we understand thirst. Fish crave water because they are surrounded by it, and their bodies are constantly regulating balance. Thirst, as humans feel it, is unnecessary when your survival depends on automatic internal systems. For fish, drinking or avoiding drinking is just another unconscious part of daily life. Yet the simplicity of this answer hides a deeper truth. Fish are constantly in danger of dehydration, or overhydration, even though they live in water. Their survival is a tightrope act, walking the fine line between too much and too little water. Unlike us, they need thirst, as a signal their environment forces their bodies to be in constant regulation mode. It's a life of balance, controlled by evolution's most elegant engineering. Humans often project our own needs onto animals, which is why the question of fish thirst is so intriguing. We assume that since we feel thirst, they must too. But fish remind us that life doesn't always work the same way across species. Their bodies are living proof that survival can take many forms, some of which we can barely relate to. What feels like a mystery to us is just another normal day for them. This understanding also has practical importance. Fish in aquariums, for example, must be kept in water that matches their natural salinity. If not, their osmoregulation systems collapse. That's why saltwater fish can't live in freshwater tanks and vice versa. Their relationship with water is so specific that even small changes in salinity can kill them. It's a delicate reminder of how dependent they are on the invisible science of balance. Scientists continue to study fish hydration because it offers clues about evolution and survival. By understanding how fish regulate salt and water, we learn more about how early life transitioned from sea to land. The ability to sense thirst in land animals may have evolved from the unconscious regulation systems in fish. In a way, our own thirst reflex might be an evolutionary echo of what fish bodies do silently every second. And here's where it gets even more thought-provoking. If fish don't feel thirst, what other human sensations do they lack or experience differently? Do they feel hunger, fatigue, or even curiosity in the same way? Questions like these push the boundaries of how we understand animal consciousness. Fish may not feel thirst, but they have their own unique ways of experiencing life. So, do fish ever get thirsty? The answer is both simple and profound. No, not like we do. Instead, their survival depends on constant, unconscious regulation of salt and water. Some drink seawater, some never drink at all, and others switch strategies depending on where they live. In their silent, underwater world, thirst is irrelevant, balance is everything. And that balance, hidden beneath the waves, is one of the most remarkable survival stories in all of nature.